So this is interesting. I've realised I've become an outlier. I guess I realised this a few years ago when a certain drug was being promoted as a cure and preventative for a certain illness that had been bandying around at the time. And I remember somebody on my YouTube channel had commented and asked me the question, Dave, are you going to take the vax? And I didn't want to respond honestly, because at the time it was a bit tricky to do so, especially on YouTube. I'm sure you know the answer anyway, and that was kind of how I responded to this guy, and I'm sure you can guess. What was interesting at the time was I suddenly realized I had become part of a minority group, especially locally. There were very few people that had made that decision not to take this thing that, you know, if you had been watching the mainstream news, if you'd been listening to your doctor, then it made sense, didn't it? This drug made sense to most people as being a means of preventing further spread, etc., etc. I've since then, as you know, gone on to seek alternative practices and methods and tools to optimize my mind and my body. And then, get this, in November last year, as I mentioned in my last video, I then succumbed to the C word, cancer. And I'm still going to continue down this alternative route. I was reminded again recently about being an outlier when seeing the physio yesterday and in the hospital. And I mentioned a few things that are on my long list of protocols to help me heal. One of which I thought everybody understood and knew about, that being water fasting. And she said, sorry, what was that? I said, water fasting. She said, what does that mean? I said, oh, you just simply, you don't eat for a period of time and you just drink water, you make sure you get electrolytes, etc., etc. And it was just very interesting to me because a lot of what I perceive as normal and natural, of course, isn't to most people. The fact that I walk around in these, of course, is not normal to most people, and I understand that, especially these quirky ones. I was in Costa Rica over the last couple of weeks. We were holding a retreat for entrepreneurs to help them find more meaning from this existence. And of course, not only at the retreat, but also at a festival that's run in the jungle, it's called Envision, I was surrounded by people that are now what I call my group, my tribe. So anything that I would have mentioned to them was perfectly normal. Water fasting, consuming San Pedro cactus, eating turmeric, and in particular activating curcumin as a means of healing. There's a long list of protocols that I've got written down that to these people it's perfectly normal. Of course you would consider that. Of course you'd consider eating only vegetables for a period of time, raw food for a period of time. Of course you would be looking at the healing properties of fruit and all other kinds of plant-based foods, stuff that we can pick from the tree straight away. And believe me, of course, in Costa Rica, wow, the colors, the sounds, the sights, but the fruit in particular is incredible. And I definitely felt that I was healing out there, along with the fact that I was sweating my nuts off dancing a lot at this festival. So I definitely got rid of a few toxins there. But here's, I think, the really interesting thing. I love this world that I'm now in. I love the tribe that I'm a part of. I love the friends that I've connected and made over the last few years. And I find it amusing when people find the stuff that I do odd. Because I suspect most, if they were to explore it just that little bit, they would find a huge benefit in a lot of these alternative practices. As you know, I firmly believe that I can heal from what people perceive as a disease. I don't see it as a disease, by the way, but I know that I can heal from this through natural alternative practices that don't involve me taking pharmaceutical drugs or poisoning my body with chemotherapy, etc. But I get the fact that for most people, they don't understand that. And therefore, I don't judge others. I'm confident that at some point, things may change for them and that they may well start to broaden their perspective. But I think it becomes really clear when you meet with those in the Western medical profession and you mention some of these alternative practices and you are always, well, 95% of the time, met with an incredulous look, as if what I'm doing is completely stupid. And of course, a lot of people still will say, yes, but Dave, where's the data to back this up? Where's the research to back that up? what we now know about research is that you can't rely on it. And sometimes you just have to go with belief. You know, belief in itself, of course, as we know, is incredibly powerful. So there we are. I've realized I'm now an outlier, and I love it and I enjoy it, and I will continue to explore all these different methods and practices. I'm going to be putting more on my YouTube channel. It all began with cold therapy, didn't it? Way back in 2017, and then breath work, and then a journey to continually evolve, as I called it. And of course I've made mistakes, of course I've learned from those. Not everything's worked. But I feel really good right now. I'm confident that what I'm doing is right. But of course, it may well be that in a month or two's time I go down a different route. I really do have a long list of protocols to work from that will help me heal, and including, by the way, the grape diet. Do look that up. Now that one is an interesting one. Even that one I'm beginning, I do question a little bit. But anyway, there we are. I'm an outlier. Are you an outlier? Do you want to be an outlier? Do you want to join my tribe? If you do, then keep watching. There's going to be things that I'll be putting out there. Most recently, I am working with entrepreneurs. So if you are one, do reach out, because there will be lots of things I'm putting on here that might well prove of interest. Least of all, there is an event coming up in April if you're interested. If you're in Nashville or nearby and you're an entrepreneur, I think this one could be for you. So do check out the link below for that. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Bye for now.